Welcome back to NFL Focus, your ultimate destination for everything football. Let's get one thing straight right now. The Seattle Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. They stood on top of that mountain, raised that Lombardi trophy, and looked down at the rest of the NFC West like they owned it. But here's the thing about being on top. Everybody is gunning for you. And the San Francisco 49ers? They are not just gunning. They are loading up, locking in, and getting gifted ammunition from the very team they are chasing. The Seahawks, fresh off their championship, are quietly handing San Francisco exactly what they need to rip that throne right out from under them. Today, we are breaking down every single layer of why this 2026 season could be the year the 49ers finally write their ultimate revenge story. If you love the Niners, or if the sight of Seattle celebrating makes your stomach turn, you are in the right place. Let's start with a piece of news that honestly had 49ers fans doing a double take. Over at OTAs for the Seattle Seahawks, reporters noticed something that raised some serious eyebrows. Undrafted running back George Holani was out there running with the first-string offense. Not Jadarian Price, Seattle's shiny new first-round pick from the 2026 NFL Draft. Not the guy they invested a premium pick in to replace their Super Bowl backfield production. No, George Holani, an undrafted player out of Boise State who has primarily carved out a role on special teams, was getting those starter reps. And, according to reporting from Niner Noise, Price was not even out there with the ones on that particular day. Now, before you shrug and say it is just OTAs, relax, let me stop you right there. You want to talk about how seriously OTA reps matter? 3 days before this story broke, Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray was openly complaining to the media about having to split first-team reps during the off-season program. A franchise quarterback with a massive contract was frustrated about rep distribution in June. So yeah, reps matter. Hierarchy matters, and the fact that your first-round running back is not commanding the first-team offense tells you something real about where the Seahawks' confidence level sits in their backfield right now. And here is the context that makes it even messier for Seattle. Their best running back, Zach Charbonnet, is on a long and painful road back from a torn ACL he suffered in the divisional round when over the 49ers during the playoffs. Think about that timing. The injury happened on January 17th during the postseason. Surgery came in late February after the swelling subsided. Doctors have been clear that the best-case scenario for full recovery from an ACL tear is 9 months. 9 months from that surgery puts Charbonnet back around Thanksgiving. That means even in the most optimistic projection, he would not be game-ready until around week 12 or week 13 of the regular season. And this is the best case. This is if everything goes perfectly, with no setbacks and no complications. ACL recoveries do not always cooperate. This is the same injury that sidelines players for a full year or more on a regular basis. Now map this to the 49ers' schedule. San Francisco faces Seattle on October 11th. Zach Charbonnet is not going to be anywhere near that field. He is gone, not a factor. Then the 49ers see them again on November 29th. Even under the most optimistic medical timeline, November 29th is still inside that best-case return window. It is not guaranteed he plays that night. The 49ers could face the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks twice without ever having to game plan for the most physically dangerous weapon in their backfield. That is not a small thing. That is an absolute gift. That is the kind of injury news that quietly changes the entire complexion of a rivalry. Before we dive into what San Francisco is building on the other side of this rivalry, I want to take a quick second to talk to you directly. We put a massive amount of hard work, sleepless nights, and dedication into producing deep dive documentaries like this for you. Every single subscription equals a huge wave of motivation for us to keep pushing and delivering the best football content on YouTube. So please take a brief moment right now to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, share this video with your friends, and leave a comment below. It helps grow our amazing community here at NFL Focus, and we truly appreciate your support. Now let's get right back into it. While Charbonnet is sidelined, the Seahawks also have to figure out who their running game actually belongs to. You have a first-round pick in Jadarian Price, who is not leading the first-team offense at OTAs. You have an undrafted veteran in George Holani, who is outworking him for those reps. And you have the broader backdrop of an offense that already lost its offensive coordinator when Clint Kubiak departed Seattle to become the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Kubiak was the architect of an offense that went to the Super Bowl. He knew how to use the personnel, how to create the tempo, and how to run this machine. Now you have a new coordinator learning a new system with a new group of skill players. That is a lot of transition happening all at once. Here is my question of the day for you, and I genuinely want your take in the comments on this one. Do you believe the Seattle Seahawks can make it past the divisional round in the 2026 playoffs? True or false? With everything they have lost, Kenneth Walker to Kansas City, Boy Mafe to Cincinnati, Kobe Bryant to Chicago, Rick Woolen to Philadelphia, and Clint Kubiak to Las Vegas, can this team actually go deep in January? Drop your answer below and tell me why, because this conversation is just getting started. But let us flip it completely and talk about what San Francisco is building, because this is the part that should genuinely excite every 49ers fan watching right now. Let's talk about the defense first. Sports Illustrated put together their rankings of the best defensive trios in the NFL heading into 2026, and the 49ers came in at number 7 in the league. That trio is Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Deommodore Lenoir. Number 7 in the entire NFL. And before you even process that ranking, understand the caveat sitting right underneath it. Both Bosa and Warner missed most of the 2025 season due to separate, serious injuries. Fred Warner was on pace to potentially win Defensive Player of the Year before he fractured and dislocated his ankle in October. That is how dominant he was playing. And Nick Bosa, for the second consecutive year, went down early with a significant knee injury, limiting him to just 3 games. 2 of the 3 players in that ranked trio were barely on the field last season, and San Francisco is still ranked number 7 in the entire league on the strength of what those players can do when healthy. Let that sink in. Now add the layer that the 49ers brought in Osa Odigizua in a trade with the Dallas Cowboys to line up next to Bosa on the interior. This matters enormously. One of the biggest challenges Bosa has faced in recent years is the staggering amount of attention he demands from opposing defensive lines. When defenses double and chip him on every single play, his production suffers. But if Odigizua is creating absolute chaos from the inside that opens lanes, creates hesitation, forces decisions, and suddenly Bosa is operating in a much cleaner environment. The last time Bosa had a dominant interior presence beside him, he put up 18.5 sacks. That number was the best in the entire NFL that year. That version of Bosa, fully healthy with a legitimate pass rushing partner, is terrifying for every offense in the NFC West, starting with Seattle. Now to the offense. The Athletic supporting cast rankings for every team heading into 2026 landed the San Francisco 49ers at number 4 in the NFL. Number 4. And the reasoning goes deep. Kyle Shanahan's offense was already ranked among the top 5 in the league. But what the numbers showed about last season is remarkable, even in an injury-plagued year. The 49ers led the entire NFL in passing success rate as a team. Nearly 40% of their pass attempts resulted in first downs, the highest rate in the entire league. And when you isolate the quarterbacks, Brock Purdy ranked number 1 individually in passing success rate. Not top 10, not top 5, Number one, the system is that clean. The execution is that precise. And now, heading into 2026, that system has better weapons than it has had in years. Mike Evans is now a San Francisco 49er. Stop and appreciate what that means for a moment. Mike Evans is one of the most physically dominant wide receivers in NFL history. He has recorded at least 1,000 receiving yards in every single season of his professional career. That is a streak of consistency that almost defies belief. He is the kind of vertical threat that fundamentally changes how defenses have to approach a secondary structure. Kyle Shanahan has never had a receiver with this combination of size, hands, and historic track record. What he can architect around Evans is going to be something genuinely special to watch unfold. And then there is Ricky Pearsall. People want to sleep on Ricky Pearsall because of injuries, and that is a massive mistake. In Week 1 last season against the Seattle Seahawks, with only 4 receptions, Pearsall racked up 108 yards. Against Seattle, on a limited snap count. People point to his injury history last year, but the reality is that Pearsall was battling a single major injury, a PCL issue, that he was fighting through for most of the season from around Week 4 or 5 onwards. That one injury colored the entire perception of his season. A fully healthy Ricky Pearsall operating in this offense is a completely different animal. Consider this. Among all receivers with at least 50 targets last season, Pearsall ranked 4th in first downs per target, 4th in the entire NFL. The only players ahead of him were elite game changers. He was doing this in an injury-compromised season. That is extraordinary efficiency. And if all of that were not enough to raise the ceiling of your expectations, Christian Kirk is in the receiver room as well. Kirk is a dependable, highly experienced route runner who fits the system perfectly and adds incredible depth and versatility. To put this in perspective, Kendrick Bourne, who finished 6th in the entire NFL in first downs per target last year, was released because the 49ers felt they had upgraded far past him. That should tell you everything you need to know about where this offense is heading. Think about what this team lost last year and still managed to accomplish in terms of offensive efficiency. Now imagine those same system execution numbers, but with a healthy Boza coming off the edge, Odigizua collapsing the pocket beside him, Warner orchestrating the defense at full capacity, Pearsall operating without pain, and Mike Evans stretching every single coverage in the NFC. Does this team have questions? Of course. There are always questions in football. Draft picks need to develop, and young players need to translate their upside into real NFL production. But Kyle Shanahan has shown repeatedly that he can get maximum production out of the talent he has on the field when it is healthy. Is this the year it finally comes together for San Francisco? Because here is the broader picture. The Seahawks are a team in transition. They lost their heavy-hitting running back for a massive chunk of the year. They lost their most consistent pass rusher. They lost key defensive backs. They lost the offensive coordinator who built the scheme that got them to the championship. And now in OTAs, their first-round running back is not even running with the first team. Meanwhile, the 49ers are adding elite pieces, getting healthy, and collecting supporting cast rankings that put them in the top tier of the entire league. Here is what I truly believe. The Seahawks will likely make the playoffs again in 2026. They have enough talent on the roster, enough culture, and enough experience in big moments. But making the playoffs and doing damage in the postseason are two very different things. I see Seattle as a wild card team at best this season, and if they get there, I do not see them surviving the divisional round. The NFC West has gotten better around them. The 49ers made enormous improvements. The Rams added serious pieces to upgrade their defense. And now Seattle is heading into the season with heavy transition in their backfield, a new coordinator, and a search for a clear identity on offense. The Seahawks got worse while the 49ers got better. And that combination is exactly how you close the gap on a defending champion in a single offseason. The revenge tour is being built right now in the quiet months and OTAs, in every transaction, and in every injury report coming out of the Pacific Northwest. San Francisco has been waiting for this exact moment. And based on everything we are seeing right now, 2026 might finally be their year to answer back and reclaim the throne. Before you head out, I want to say a huge thank you for hanging out with us today. Documentaries like this take a lot of hard work, deep research, and pure dedication from our team to put together. Every single subscription gives us the motivation to keep creating the content you love. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep growing this incredible NFL-focused community together. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.